I had a golf match at Cazenovia Park during my sophomore season. It was a calm fall day, the colorful leaves scattered throughout the course, trying to hide the balls from the golfers. Coach Frank said he would follow me around as my caddy, helping me read the greens and telling me where to play my tee shots. I played well through the first 4 holes, but had a bad miss off the 5th tee box and was in the deep rough on a slanted slope. The grass was begging to be cut as the long blades of grass almost completely buried my ball. Coach Frank told me how to correct my stance to hit off the slope. I knew I hit a great shot as I felt the power of my club transfer into the ball as the iron made a sweet cracking sound. My shot screamed through the air and took a big bounce that landed about 20 yards from the green. The 5th hole had a small and sloped green, which made my 20-yard chip extremely difficult to hit it close. You are known for your elite knowledge of the golf swing around Western New York. I'm wondering who taught you everything you know about golf, and when did you start playing and learn?
So let's start with when I started playing. I started playing at 19 years old. Was when I first picked up a club, and so that was quite a while ago. And where did I learn? So I had a lot of different instructors over the years, but probably where I learned the most about the golf swing and the swing mechanics was through the Titleist program.
Have you ever played professionally yourself?
Not as a touring professional, no. So all the events I played in over the years were all amateur-based.
When you were in high school, did you ever see yourself having a future in golf? And what was your plan going out of high school? Was it college or another route?
Good question. So if I look back on what I was thinking in high school, golf was not in the plans. So I didn't play golf in high school. Like I said, I started when I was 19. So after I got out of high school, I started playing. At the time, I didn't think, we'll just say it, I didn't think golf was the coolest sport when I was in high school back then, right? So I did play tennis, but I kind of thought golf was like, who plays golf? You know, back in the 80s, it was, not a lot of people were playing golf, right? Yeah. So I was like, that's, I'm not going to do that. So what I thought was going to happen is I was a musician. So I thought I was going to be in a band, and I thought I was going to be making music and doing that kind of stuff. That was my plan A. And then when I quickly realized that the chances of that happening were pretty slim, I just thought I would work. I didn't have any aspirations necessarily to go to school initially. And then I got out into the work environment and realized very quickly that you need a college education. You need to do something. So I made the decision to go to school for technology, and I did that for 2 years, and I entered the workforce right when I was 19. So I got full 2 years of technology education, college, and then went right into the workforce from there.
I know you started your own business. Can you tell me more about it and what your company did?
Yeah. So I was in the technology industry from the time I was 19, and in 2000. So my career, I kind of went through different phases of. I was in the infrastructure side of the business, in the technology world. So that means things like networking, servers, software, email, all that kind of stuff. That was my background. And when we worked for a very, very large company, a $1 billion company, me and 3 other guys, and we were doing that for about 7 or 8 years. We got to 2000, and we said we thought it would be a good idea to try to start our own local company. And so that's what we did. So in 2000, we incorporated, started our own business. And shortly after we started it, the company we worked for filed Chapter 11, went out of business. They filed bankruptcy. And so all the customers we had worked with over the course of those 7 years slowly came over and became our customers.
Did you ever have doubts that your business wasn't going to be successful?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. When you start, what's interesting about starting your own business is when you go to find the money to start your own business, banks are apprehensive to loan you lots of money. So what we had to do was we had to basically put our entire all of our houses and all of our cars on the line to be able to get the funding to be able to start the business. So at the time when you're signing over all of your assets to the bank, that if things don't work out, they're going to take your house and they're going to take your car.
Yeah.
Certainly, there are some doubts that enter into that equation.
What was some of the hardest decisions you have to make as the manager of the company?
I would say the hardest decisions always are personnel related. Tough decisions around individuals maybe not performing and having to let them go. Those are the hardest things to do, I think, in business.
Did you ever have golf and your company mix? Would you ever play with possible business partners or anything like that?
Yep. So I would tell you that being able to play golf and be able to play pretty good golf was extremely important in how we acquired our customers. So I always tell people there's nothing better than spending 4 or 5 hours on a golf course with a potential new client.
Mm-hmm.
You really, usually you're either walking with them or you're sitting in a cart with them all that time, and you get to know them and you build up really good relationships. So almost all of the customers that we had at one time or another, we were on the golf course with them. So
my final question is, if you could give a piece of advice to a senior going into the adult world, what would it be?
Senior going in the adult world, first and foremost, you may not know what you want to do right now, but once you decide what it is you want to go after, you got to go after it 100%, and it's got to be something you're going to enjoy doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you do, and have the ability to pivot as time goes on. Right? Be willing to take chances. Be willing to take risk. If you don't take risk, you'll never have an opportunity to get the reward at the end of it. So I would just tell you, focus on what it is right now you think you want to do. Go in all in 100%. And be willing to take chances and risk. And failure, I always tell everybody, this is kind of the biggest thing, no matter who you are, failure is the stepping stone to success. You got to be willing to fail and take chances, like we did with our business. Perfect example. If you weren't willing to take that risk and you weren't willing to fail, you have no chance to ever succeed. So that's what I would tell any senior that's venturing out into the world.
All right. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Frank told me where to land my chip where it would roll out toward the pin. I scooped the ball perfectly off the ground, giving it a hair of backspin, which was just enough to keep the ball close to the pin. I got up to the green, marked my line, and drained the par putt. I wouldn't have been able to shoot par if it wasn't for Coach Frank. This moment made me realize how much knowledge he had of the game and how much he could help me. I finished the rest of the round filled with confidence, knowing even if I had a bad shot, I could still recover from it.